So it's another beautiful clear morning. It's still February. You can see breath coming out of my mouth here. So it's a cool day. Blue skies. Looks like a nice day. Going for a longer walk today. The run I did along the canal the other day. Whole idea of that is just a 1 hour, get the heart rate up, put a bit of effort in, grit the teeth and go, and use it as a marker of physical fitness. Try and keep it down to 1 hour. This walk here is more in the build up for the actual trek across the Himalayas. The idea being it's more of a, just keep walking, put some miles in the legs. So this is about a 10-mile route. It's not an arduous one, but it's one of the ones I can do straight from the house without getting dropped off somewhere. I can actually set off from here, do a 10-mile circuit and come back. Takes about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to get out into the actual countryside itself. So the first part is a little bit boring. I'm going to show you the route in a minute. But once you're out in the countryside, it's really nice. So here's the map. Okay, so I'm around here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to head off down over towards junction 7 of the motorway. You can actually cross over. We sort of hit the countryside here. We go behind a pub called the Swan, can cross over a bridge here, and then we're actually in the countryside here. And I can head off along this path. Now a lot of these are directly across the middle of fields. There's no actual path marking it. You just need to take a bearing and head towards the actual stile or the gate on the other side. I've done this route so many times I can do it without the map now, but I can come across here. We go past this some nice little cottage here, then we go past an old farmhouse here. There's usually a dog that barks at me about there, but he's chained up. He seems quite safe. And then what we do, we come along here, we go under a lovely little bridge here, so we go under the railway at this point. And then as we skirt round here, this doesn't show on the map, but there's a great big wind turbine which is quite majestic and quite nice to look at. Going to skirt round the side of this pond here, and then we go up a little track here where there's an old barn where people convert in some cars and stuff, and we hit the A44, cross over here, and then again out in the countryside across fields, and we're heading up around this way over here. Now what we're going to do is we go through some fields and everything over here, and what we're going to do is head across so that we basically head up over towards this way here. We're going to cut up, actually we come up along here, and then briefly cross this road, head across, directly across another field, bit of a steep downhill bit here, and when we get to here, what we're going to do is actually cross over. There's a pedestrian crossing actually over the railway here. The first time I came across one of these out in the Midlands, it threw me actually walking across the railway line. So obviously got to be a bit careful, looking left and right. Then we're going to carry parallel on up past the railway line, and we get to, there's a tiny private little church here, somebody's garden. Actually the path goes through their garden right past this beautiful little church. Then I'm going to walk along the road here. I can either go this way past the church, or I can carry on the path and go on the main road, but there's nowhere to actually walk on the main road, so this side one's a little bit safer. And then what I can do from there is we can cut up past this farm and basically join the road here back up by the hospital and back. So it's about a 10-mile route. Take about 3 hours. It's not about getting out of breath, it's just about getting outside, enjoying the countryside, and putting some miles in the legs. May well see, probably almost definitely around here, we're going to see some birds of prey. They've got some buzzards around here. It's in one of these fields around here, we'll almost definitely see him. Could well see in these fields some deer, some foxes, hares, rabbits, pheasants. So it's quite a nice countryside walk. So let's go and make a start. Right, all set and ready to go. As I say, very different to the canal walk, this or to canal run. This one is going to be a walk. Nice sunny day, shouldn't be out of breath or anything. The whole idea is just to put some miles in the legs. Got the 10 kilograms on, got water with me this time, because obviously the canal run, just do it. This one's 10-mile walk, so need some water. Otherwise, nice walk. It's only about 1 kilometre from home, but I don't know if you can see there, but nice view of the Malvern Hills from here. Obviously for trekking in Nepal, that'd be good, going over there. It's just the logistics of getting there, especially during the working week or whatever. If I haven't got the car, it's not exactly I can take the motorbike with my backpack and everything on, but yeah, going over the hills is fantastic. Still, the opportunity like this to be able to get out in the countryside direct from home, fantastic. Just by the Swan pub now, almost exactly 2 kilometres from my house. So this is a bit kin. When I'm in Nepal, it's about 8 kilometres to the trailhead of the actual hike that I'm going to be going on, so it's pretty much the same as this now. It's another couple of 100 metres down there to the first field, and the countryside literally just out over there. Going to cross the bridge over the motorway as I showed on the map, and it's going to be interesting to see how many of those features, more the wildlife side, whether the dog's going to be there, whether the buzzard's going to be there. Obviously the bridges and everything are going to be there. It's going to be interesting to see which ones are there, but I'll point them out as we go through. Right, here we go. Cross country, cross fields from now. Should be a load of sheep in this field. Okay, so I don't know where the sheep are. Normally there's sheep in this field. Some beautiful houses here, you know, nice gardens backing onto this field. The only trouble is, have got the motorway across there, so it can get a little bit noisy. We looked at buying a house around here, and you can hear that motorway more than you actually think. A lot of the paths sort of go round some of the fields, so there's obviously countryside etiquette. Can go sort of straight across, but it's not a race. Obviously I'm putting the miles in, so I'm quite happy to go round the field rather than cut across the middle of it. There's a little farmer's track here going up and over the motorway. These farmer's tracks actually are really handy. When you're out walking in the countryside, that motorway literally cuts the two sides in half otherwise, and you've either got to walk miles and miles and find one of the proper motorway bridges, or find one of these farmer's tracks, because they either go over the bridge here, or you find some tunnels that go under it that when you're driving around normally you just wouldn't notice whatsoever. So they're dead handy for going out and around the countryside without getting stuck miles and having to trek all the way along to a bridge. It's quite exposed here, and I dare say the noise of the traffic and maybe even the wind is going to get picked up really clearly on the camera, on the GoPro. But here you can see obviously the motorway. We're heading out over the countryside over there. So first to the fields to cross. I mean, here you can see there's a pretty clear path. In the summer, certainly towards the end of autumn as well, come harvest time, you'll have to battle through crops. If it's corn, it's going to be this high. No way you can see the actual path itself, so you need to take a bearing. In the winter, when this is muddy, you end up about 6 inches higher because you've got huge clods of mud attached to your feet. And I've actually walked across here in the winter, and there's actually no way, it's just white, it's a sheet, there's no way you're going to know where you're going unless you take a bearing. I've done this route so many times I can probably do it almost blindfold. Now from this point on, I'll have to keep the camera on and ready to go. Deer can spring out of anywhere and suddenly go bounding across the fields. Lovely to see. You've got zero chance of getting a phone out and trying to get any photos. I've tried it a couple of times before, so I'll keep the camera on. A lot of these walks, the videos, is all about lessons learned, getting ready for Nepal, because I haven't charged the GoPro up again since I did the canal walk, so I'm down to 1 bar. So if the video suddenly ends at some point, it's because of my own stupidity and not charging it up. First time you do these walks, you've got to be really careful with the map and make sure you actually follow the path. It's really easy to stray off or just assume you're following the path, but what can happen is you can just end up against a wall of fence, or of what's it bloody called? Hedges, okay? And then you can end up having to skirt all the way around the field. Now I actually know that straight across there, there's actually a gap in the hedge because I've done it loads of times. There's actually a stile there, but from here you can't see it. It can be really frustrating when you're just out on a walk, all to find yourself up against this wall that you've got to break through. Don't know if you can class it as wildlife, but there's the dog I was telling you about. Having to be a bit economical with the battery because it's going down really fast. I've had to order some new ones ready for Nepal because this one's obviously not holding its charge. You just begin to see the wind turbine over there. Train and some deer running across the field. Just see them hightailing across there, 2 white bottoms. Don't know how well this camera will pick it up. Yeah, some wildlife. Yay! Here's a nice little tunnel under the railway. So I've been trying to preserve the battery because there's a few things I want to show you. So I've been past the pond, I've been past the guy who fixes actually Triumph cars, I just noticed. Normally the buzzards in this tree here, I've seen them a few times, I've just seen just seen it fly off across there. I also want to show the nice church and the actual pedestrian crossing on the railway. If the buzzard comes back, I'll switch the camera back on. This bird's not daft at all. I've been past you a few times, and every time I try and get my camera out in the past, it flies away as though it knows. It's actually sitting in a tree over there. I can't turn around because the sun's there, you just won't get it. But I can see it in a tree over there. It's like it knows I'm here, and like it knows I want to get it on the camera. It's just not happening. One of the quirks in the UK is you've got public footpaths all over the place. If you build your house on a public footpath, it's still a public footpath. So I've just walked through this guy's garden. He's doing his veggie plot there. He was obviously quite used to it. He was chatting away, asking where I'd been. It's quite strange sometimes quite disconcerting to literally walk through someone's garden. One route I went on, I was walking past their picnic bench and everything, you know, them cutting the lawn, waving. It's quite strange. Probably totally alien to guys in the US as well. It's not the buzzard, but it's a buzzard. And the battery's going to go any second now. Another example now of having to go sort of off-piste. Path along here is really... So, battery died, as you probably worked out. But all lessons learned. I was already taking a power pack with me to Nepal. But now what I've done is bought an extra couple of spare batteries for the GoPro to take those as well. It's all extra weight, but that's the point. I've been training with 10 kilograms on my back. Hopefully all the stuff that I take won't be quite as much as that, because obviously I'll be uphill as well. But anyway, good walk, about 2 hours 45. So yeah, nice that one.